Okay. So, decided to wait to go to the gym because when we woke up, it was 12 degrees, something like that. It was really, really cold. So the sun is up a little bit, and I'm happy to announce we're up to 16 degrees, 1-6. So we are going to journal really quickly. I'm gonna try to get this done in like 17, 18 minutes. And then we're gonna go to the gym in my cold tuna can hanger of a gym. But we're gonna double hack this by doing workouts outside so that we don't have to go back outside if we don't want to. Okay, we'll be done by that point. You know what? Part of me doesn't want to, but there's a really, really big part of me that's kind of excited just because I like pushing myself, and I like when I ever have to do something very difficult or that I don't really want to do, I just imagine myself after. Like, I imagine myself on the drive home. I imagine myself walking out of the gym after it's done, which I have like a love-hate relationship with because I know I don't want to fast forward my time at all. Time goes so quickly. But in miserable situations, it can help you out in a pinch if you're just so already focused on like the after point. You can still enjoy it, be mindful in the moment. Wow, this is terrible, but it's okay. It's all right. I'm alive. I'm safe. I'm breathing. I'm so lucky to be breathing, and my body is moving in the way that I'm asking it to. Acknowledge that all in the moment, but then also have your eyes on the end game so that you can actually push through instead of being like, I don't want to do this. I'm not going to go do this thing that I said that I was going to do. Because here's why. If you break your word to yourself enough, you stop trusting yourself, you stop listening to yourself, you stop respecting yourself. So don't tell yourself that you're going to do things and then make a habit of not doing them. It's one thing to be tired and, hey, I'm not saying push yourself, but take your word and the things that you say and the things that you tell yourself that you are going to do very seriously. Very seriously, because you are someone who deserves to be taken seriously, and you are somebody who deserves to be listened to and trusted. So it starts with you. We're gonna journal, and then we're gonna get after it. I don't know. The ground is frozen. Okay. The ground is frozen right now. So we got a little bit of a conundrum because we need to get this outdoor workout done. I want to quantify how cold it is. This mat won't even unfurl. That's how cold it is. I'm having to work to unfold the mat. That's how cold it is. Holy mackerel. Okay. All right, we're gonna do this. Here's the workout. That was miserable. And, when you want to do 75 hard in the wintertime and then it drops down to 16 degrees and it's like, what's up? So we finna stand on business or what? Yes, that happened. We stood on business. But as a result, we're behind on water. I know that you're like, how are those things related? They just are. Okay. So that's what we're going to work on now. And we were supposed to have an artist day today. So what I'm going to do is have an indoor artist date, and we're gonna hang out with Fred for a little bit. It's been a minute since we hung out with Fred, so we're gonna hang out with Fred for our artist date. I'm looking at my watch. That's not on my wrist, which is a rarity. It's 2:50, so I'm gonna try to kick it with Fred around like 5-6 o'clock. Hopefully by then we will have finished our second thing of water and we're working on our third. And maybe we'll read before we kick it with Fred, so we could just hang out with Fred and have it be like, stress free, limited distractions or things that would pull me out of it, because your girl loves to work. All right, that workout was terrible, and I think the hardest part was the metal, trying to pick up the metal kettlebells and dumbbells was just like it was not ideal. And then having to try and go and do pull-ups with fingers that you can't feel. So I think the next cold workout that we do is going to be something like running, maybe even biking, something that keeps me in constant motion for like the entire 45 minutes. It might even just be like a walk with maybe like a rucksack or something to make it like extra. I don't want to say extra hard because it's already like 15 degrees. That's pretty hard, Deja. Chill out. Chill out, bro. What are you training for? Life. We're training for life, okay? We want to be a zombie apocalypse asset. I think that's it. Onward. Third water bottle fill up. It's 6:30. Close but no cigar. But that's okay. That's all right. For our second indoor workout, you know what I think I'm going to do? I think I'm going to do some yoga because obviously it's like the perfect indoor thing. But I think I'm going to break up each 5-minute hold with 10 push-ups, 5 to 10 push-ups. I think that'd be a nice way to switch it up a little bit. So we're gonna do 5-minute holds. Very difficult, but enjoyable. And then we're gonna break those holds up with push-ups because I really want to muscle up and I need to start building my upper body strength again. And dang, I wish that I had taken my progress picture before I filled up on all this water, but it is what it is. So after we're done with that, we will rock with Fred. Maybe we'll rock with Fred for a little bit and then take our picture, and then we're gonna call it, Then we're gonna call it and try to be done with everything by 8:30. That is the goal. 8:30 finish time with everything. Onward. Picture. So we have finished our 10 pages. We have taken our progress picture. We have finished our 2 workouts, maintained our diet, and finished our water with like 3 sips. Okay, the water's done. Today, Project 2025 Day. Really excited because this was kind of the introductory chapter for the recommendations that they're going to have for the Department of Defense. And it's already very interesting for me because they have likened the fall of recruitment numbers almost solely to this administration's desire. This is what it's saying. This administration's desire to focus on non-defense related matters, including climate change, critical race theory, manufactured extremism, and other polarizing policies that weaken our armed forces and discourage our nation's finest men and women from enlisting. And I just thought that was very interesting because it goes on to call out that we as America must treat missile defense as the top priority. And in my opinion, I feel like a correlation between a drop-off could be a number of things. One of which, the fact that people are kind of waking up to the fact that they don't really want to be treated as an asset or an object, or they don't really like the way that they're being treated in America. Not so much because of some radical woke agenda. I don't think that, and I could be wrong, but it just seems very interesting that they focus so much on, hey, the reason why we're not getting people to join the military is not because of the way that we treat our veterans, not because I feel like everyone knows at least a veteran who's just kind of like been abused or like left out in the cold. It has nothing to do with, I think that something like 1 in 3 women who join the military end up being assaulted. It has nothing to do with that. It's because of critical race theory and manufactured extremism. So it's fascinating to me to see the mental gymnastics that and I say one, but it's really like this book has over 200 authors. but an entire organization backing it, what people will go through to like be very quick to point out the splinter in someone else's eye and not be focused on the beam in their own eye. So it's what I'm reading so far is very much along that thread. Like, we're not going to ask the deep questions. We're going to stop at the surface level and we're going to say it's because of these progressive ideologies, not because we don't really have a great history of like treating people well. And, you know, we don't really have a great history of doing that. On top of the fact that I feel like now more people are waking up to kind of like manipulative things that the government does than we have ever before, when we were kind of like in a state of like blind ignorance and blind acceptance, to where now people are actually asking questions and asking things of their government. And I find it really funny that it's kind of being painted as if it's wrong to ask things of your government, which is pretty much the start of the American Revolution. We were being taxed without having any representation of what our taxes were going to from King George while living in a whole nother country. Like, that's what started the American Revolution. And so for us to be like living and breathing the same thing where we don't know where our taxes are going, and we are finding out that, you know, we're sending money to places to fund certain things that could very well be used to make America truly great again, especially when you think about real like problems, domestic issues that we have. I'm starting to feel like the reason why we don't see action on so many things, you know, the fact that we have so many mass shootings and we kind of just like accepted it, or the fact that, you know, we have over 100 Americans a day dying from drug overdoses. Like, I lost my brother. We have all of these things happening and they're not being seen as priorities. And I'm starting to feel like the reason why is kind of the same way that, you know, a store factors in shrink, or they factor in loss. So they factor in at the fiscal end of the fiscal year when they're writing out their budget, factored in. It makes me wonder, like, as the problem is we have all of these business people making money, not caring how they make it, because again, like, what is ethical consumption? They just want it. And we've placed money as, it's honestly like one of our gods in America. And all these people who know how to make money, but don't have any of the ethics or the like responsibility that would come with having that much money. So it's very interesting to see how many issues can be blamed on a radical agenda, and not like, we have some very core wounds that we should probably be addressing in America. And maybe we could focus on them if we weren't so hyper focused on, you know, the problem of diversity. I also found this particular section really interesting because it's a high level overview of defense, of what we need to be focusing on. And I'm excited because we're going to get into it a little bit deeper. But it specifically says, in Africa, Skinner writes that the U.S. should focus on core security, economic, and human rights, rather than impose radical abortion or pro-LGBT initiatives. Divisive symbols such as the rainbow flag or Black Lives Matter flag have no place next to the stars and stripes at our embassies. And I don't know, something just tells me that, like, a Black Lives Matter flag next to like an African embassy wouldn't be like a terrible thing. The fact that it's divisive is bananas, but that's neither here nor there. It's just very interesting to me. When I see things in here like the U.S. Agency for Global Media, did not even know that was a thing, but you have an agency that's dedicated to dispersing information to citizens and abroad. So essentially they're like in charge of all of our propaganda, and they're supposed to be unbiased. It's supposed to be like an unbiased form of of relevant information. But if this person is writing in here and they were the former vice president, it's not really that unbiased. This is literally mandate for leadership, the conservative promise. So it, like, the math ain't mathin'. The math ain't mathin'. And I'm far from like anti-American, but I definitely think that in this, you should be critical of your country and you should ask questions, and you should not just like accept the things that people tell you to accept and put your head down and just be a good little consumer. I don't think that that's I don't think that's the way. So excited for the next chapters coming up. Excited to see what's coming up with the Department of Defense. And overall, I give the day a solid 7.8 out of 10. It was very cold, very, very cold. I think on these super cold days, I'm going to opt for like a run, something where I'm not having to like pick up metal. That kind of like threw me off. Really liked breaking up my stretching with push-ups. Yeah, 7.8. It was just like a get down and work. But I'm very grateful to have a home and heat and a place to be and feel safe and secure enough to even like record this today, especially with how cold it was. I was kind of sad because I found some little kitty paws outside that were just very small, and I'm like, it's like 10 degrees outside. I hope that little kitty's all right. But that's it. That is it for the day, and we're going to try this thing tomorrow. I'm going to try and front load my day with journaling, reading, progress photo. That's going to be the aimed at goal for like the next week. Because if I can get that down, boom, 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 I think everything else is soup of the day. So I will see you in the next one. We finished everything by 8:30 like we wanted to. And so now we're going to just kick it with Fred a little bit. We're going to kick it with Fred, and that'll actually be our outro. That'll be our outro. So I will see you in the next one.